What's up? This is El Diablo Gabriel Fuerza, and you're watching Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
This episode of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler is provided by Cottage Spring.
You are listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approved, provided by Cottage Springs. Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler, and I'm up with myself, doing something a little different this week. Gonna kind of just talk today and talk about life and talk about wrestling and life's busy right now for your friends here at Count It Out. Send a big congratulations to Mike. He is in the process of starting a new job, which has been very time constraining on him. My life has been incredibly busy between planning a wedding and some events that I have been doing. So Mike and I's schedule, well, it hasn't exactly been great. Hasn't been great to line up. And I'll never tell this to Mike, and I need you guys to keep it a secret. And I think I can trust you guys. But I kind of miss the big idiot, you know? It's been a while since we've fully recorded a show together. It's been a while since we've done a list. But good things come to those that wait. And hopefully next week, and if not next week, then for sure the week after. Mike and I will be back on the same page. August is just busy, so bear with us. I know Count It Out hasn't exactly been what we've wanted it to be the last month, but we are still putting out shows every week. We will be taking care of you guys. Keep an eye out for content. Big thank you to Emilio last week for jumping on and talking all things Destiny Wrestling. That Heat Wave card is going to be absolutely incredible. And man, like, it's just incredible to be an Ontario independent wrestling fan right now. Destiny Wrestling are going to be starting up their weekly television show. Barrie Wrestling will be live on Rogers every week starting up in a couple months. And stay tuned for a couple other special projects that we are working on in Barrie Wrestling. But I will not be giving you any more information on that. That is a secret for right now. We'll be talking a lot more Barrie Wrestling in a little bit. I had quite the weekend that we will get into for sure. We have, speaking of Ontario wrestling, though, great stuff. Gabriel Fuerza, who, in my opinion, is one of the best wrestlers in the world, not just in Ontario, but in the world. This guy is incredible. He's got an incredible show going on this weekend, which, if you're able to donate and to help out for the cause, it's a beautiful thing. He's doing a free Palestine show. I'm not very worldly educated. It's probably a fault of mine. So I don't want to pretend like I know all the details of it, but I know that Gabriel Fuerza is an incredible man. He's an incredible performer, and some fantastic people from the world of the Ontario independent scene are getting together and trying to raise money for people that are not doing as good as we are right now and are going through a really shitty time. And, it doesn't matter what side you're on at the moment. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. It matters to you guys, of course, which side you're on, but people are dying and children are suffering, and Fuerza is trying to help the children, and I love that. And if you're able to and you're comfortable with it, please support. He's got a lot of great raffle prizes. It's gonna be a good time. We'll talk about Mr. Fuerza a little bit more too, because him and I had quite the interaction on Friday as well. But I won't bury the lead too much. But yeah, great time to be a wrestling fan. We had SummerSlam on the weekend. We had NXT. Big angle there. AEW's got a big show coming up. Lots of good stuff, man. Lots of good stuff. But I think before we get into everything, well, got to get in to that good old fashioned punch out of the week. And now, the Cottage Springs Punch Out of the Week. Find your favorite flavors at cottagesprings.ca. My punch out of the week, I'm going back to NXT. Surprise, surprise. WWE NXTNA is kicking ass, man. And the Rascals, they shot a hell of an angle on NXT this week. Wes Lee turning on his brothers, super kicking Trey Miguel. Like, it's just unbelievable. He took them both out, but it's the emotion that came with that and the shock factor. And even bigger, like, take the angle out of equation. How cool is it that we are watching a TNA angle unfold on WWE television? Yeah, I know it's NXT. Oh, NXT. NXT is awesome right now. Like, they're really killing it. And I've never been a big NXT fan since, the black and gold days ended. I never got into 2.0, and this is coming. This TNA mixture, it's working. It's getting people over. It's getting more eyes on a guy like Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, and it's giving Wes Lee this turn to shine. Joe Hendry is exploding, and we'll get into Joe a little bit later too. He's on my list of things I want to talk about today. TNA, 4,000 people in Montreal, huge show. This is the Cottage Spring Punch Out of the week too. Let me tell you, did I ever have some Cottage Springs on the weekend? Woo! Matt Good for Kempenfest. That's the next topic we're going to be talking about after the Punch Out of the week. But we drank all the Cottage Springs, possibly in Barrie on Saturday, between myself, my brothers, and Wilson. Happy birthday, Wilson. Happy birthday, Kerr. I'll turn 40 this year. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. But yeah, man, this NXT thing. Let's get back on track here. NXT, TNA. What's the payoff going to be? Leave me some comments. Let me know. Where do we go from here? Are we going to get a When World Collide pay-per-view? Is it going to be NXT versus TNA? Like, is that where this is building to? How do you book it? What's your dream card that you want to see? I know Mike and Adam did that list, but they did WWE versus TNA. What's the TNA versus NXT dream card that you want to see? Leave some comments. I want to hear from you guys more. And that's why, this week we've got listener questions coming, which I'm really excited to get to. I've only skimmed through them. I haven't really read them in detail. So I'm excited to see what you guys came up with and what curveballs you're going to throw me to talk about. But yes, for all the excitement and for the emotion of that angle, the explosion of the Radicals and the heel turn of Wes Lee is my Cottage Spring Punch Out of the week. Well, since we're on the topic of Cottage Springs also, let's talk about Saturday night. Let's talk about my whole weekend. How about that? How about we get into the whole weekend? And, this is different territory for me. I'm not sure even how comfortable I feel just doing this solo podcast. It's like therapy, I guess. It's weird. It's refreshing. It's nerve-wracking. I feel vulnerable doing this, and I'd love your feedback. Was this the worst show in the history of Counted Out? Were you digging it? This is something that, you'd like to see periodically again if Mike and I can't record, or should we just throw out the bat signal and, get Adam back in here, or Steve Bourne, or Jay, or Jonah, and Matt Sukram, like all the usual helpers, and our Counted Out family to come on, and that way you don't got to listen to me ramble on and on, but I'm going to ramble. Talk about this weekend. Kempenfest in Barrie, very special to me. Always loved Kempenfest. Dating back to my childhood, my whole family used to come to Kempenfest every year. Very fond memories. My family's had some losses this year. We had the unfortunate passing of my stepfather, Dino, who has been with me my entire life, and obviously the father to all my brothers and my sister. And we used to go to Kempenfest every year, and I just remember those times. I remember going out for dinner to Weber's after, and just fond memories. And it's really cool now to come all these years later and spend these times with my brothers. And, my sister would come up if she wasn't working and whatnot, and she lives a little further away. But my mom and my Nana come up every year, and we're adults now. Well, I mean, I pretend to be an adult. They're adults. They're in their 20s, 30s. They're all getting there. And I'm 40 pretending. I'm pretending to be 40. I am 40, but I don't act it. But it's just so cool for me to perform at Kempenfest now, and I look forward to it every year. It's literally one of my favorite things that I do the whole year. So it's what I look forward to. And this year I was really excited about it. Matt Good was playing. Man, I fucking love the Matthew Good band. I've seen them a bunch of time in concerts. Put the call out to my brothers, my nana, mom. Hey, we're going. We're doing it this year. We got tickets, but first I got to do my ring announcing Friday night, and I show up and performing at Chemfest is always special. Like I said, I have those moments, those memories, and it just feels different. And we have a huge crowd that turns out every year. This year is a little different though. I showed up and the vibes were good. Everybody was in a good mood. We had a good set of matches put together, 6 matches on the card. Barry Wrestling doing what they do best until about 45 minutes, maybe an hour before the show. Good friend Sean Gibson, promoter of Barry Wrestling, owner of Barry Wrestling, walks up to me with only a shit-eating grin that a Pittsburgh Steelers fan could have on his face, and goes, "Hey man, I know you do the ring announcing." I go, "Yeah, Sean, I do the ring announcing. What do you need? What is going on right now?" "Well, we don't have a referee. How you feel about reffing tonight?" I just laughed at him. Said, "I don't fucking know how to referee. I've never refereed in my entire life before. What do you want me to do? I've never even dropped down. I've just stood in the ring with a microphone. I've never even rolled around on the ground before. I've never done any of that." And he just laughed at me. He's like, "Yeah, you got this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine." So that's apparently to get your referee license in Barrie, it's about as easy as being the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You just show up apparently, and you try your best. And I know I did better than the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do this year. That's for damn sure. But I was a little nervous, let me tell you. And I want to give a shout out to a couple people here. First off, to young Kyle, who is a phenomenal referee, and he's just starting his in-ring career. Unfortunately, he got into a car accident on the way up. From what I've been told, everybody's okay, but he couldn't make the show. Also, want to send some love to Matthew Grant and Aaron Grant and whoever else. I don't know all the details of who was in the vehicle, but they got in a very serious car accident on Saturday, and thankfully everybody's okay. And we want to send well wishes to everybody. That's scary for all of us, man. We're all family here, and you don't like to see that stuff happen, but thankfully everybody was okay this week, and that's great. That puts a smile on my face. But I'll tell you, when I wasn't smiling was on Friday, when all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I got no ref shirt. I don't know what to do. So I got given a pair of knee pads by a friend in the back and turned a good old trusty Van Landon. And I said, "What the fuck do I do, man?" So he took me in the ring, walked me through it a little bit, horseshoe, stay out of the way. If you're in the way, you'll know. And yeah, went out there and gave her the old college try. And I think I did all right. I got some good feedback. It was fun. I had a great time doing it. But holy shit, man, 6 matches in a row for this old out of shape boy is tough. I could not walk for 4 days after. I was sweating buckets. I was gassed out. You know how hard it is to referee a match with Gabriel Fuerza in it? That guy is so fast and so good. Him and Ahmed had an amazing match. They pulled my hair. That wasn't very nice. I was the referee, man. Pulled my hair. Fuerza put a clip up on it. I had no idea that was coming. I'm just trying to call it down the middle. Ahmed saying that Fuerza pulled his hair. I didn't see it. But am I a good referee? Maybe he did pull his hair. Fuerza was pretty sneaky, man. He's a good wrestler. Could have pulled one over my eyes. And then Fuerza pulled my hair. So then you'd know if I pulled his hair. This is what it would feel like. And then Ahmed pulled my hair. I said, "This is ridiculous. I'm the referee. You guys got to fight." It was fun. And it's super cool and something that I look back and smile on to, a young guy like Ahmed who's just starting out and what a talent he is. But, to say that I did a spot in the ring with Gabriel Fuerza, who I think is going to be a megastar, is that could be something really cool for me to look back on and just smile about. It was bucket list stuff, man. I got to tip my cap to all the referees out there, though. Whoever says refereeing is easy, you're wrong. It is very difficult. It is very challenging. I'm not going to reveal too much. The people that help me and the people that I thank privately, you know who you are. Thank you for helping me get through it. Hopefully, I did not screw it up too much. And I immediately put my 2 weeks in notice. I will not be refereeing. Hopefully, I mean, if duty calls, I'm giving it. I'm calling it the Terry Funk retirement. I am retiring from refereeing until somebody can't make it, and I have to step in again. But I am more than happy being a ring announcer for Barry Wrestling. But that was cool, man. It was really cool to just get to do that one time, and it's bucket list stuff. This year for Barry Wrestling has been really cool for me. This has been a whole bucket list year for me. I got to commentate with Mike Jeffries, who I'll put him up against. I'm not just talking about in Ontario. I'm not talking about on the indie scene. I'll put Mike Jeffries' commentary up against any wrestling commentator. He is phenomenal, and he gets better and better every time. And I always knew he was good, but I didn't know how good he was until I commentated with him. And I went back and re-listened to it to make sure that I didn't suck too bad. And just he carried me that whole broadcast so effortlessly, but he didn't make it seem like he carried me to anybody else. At least I hope not. But he's just so professional and so good. He's incredible. But I got to do that, and bucket list stuff this year. I refereed. I'm doing work with Barry Wrestling. Getting married this year. My bachelor party's next week. Like that's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a good time. Got all my close family coming up for this wedding. Getting married, the love of my life. That's gonna be great. Man, it's an exciting year. And Count It Out has been growing like crazy. We've doubled up our subscribers on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. Please subscribe. We really need all the help we can get. It just helps us out. And yeah, so that was my refereeing excursion. And hopefully I don't have to do it again anytime soon because I could not walk for 3 days after. I was terrified in all the right ways refereeing a Pretty Ricky match, let me tell you. That guy is incredible. And yeah, it was a good time. And Saturday was Matt Good. And I drank so many Cottage Springs that I don't even remember it. But my brother said I had a good time and I got a set list. I completed my Canadian music set list arc. I have now got set lists for my 6 favorite Canadian bands at their concerts. The big one, I got a Tragically Hip set list from their final tour. And then I've got an Arkells set list. I like the Arkells. I've got a Blue Rodeo set list. Got a set list from the Trues. I've got a set list from Sam Roberts, and now I have a set list from Matthew Goodband. So all in all, it was a great weekend for me. Bucket list stuff. Thank you to everybody for being a part of that. And we're talking about big shows. The CNE is opening up soon, and Classic Championship Wrestling is running there. Tito Santana is going to be there a weekend. Jerry the King Lawler. How wild is that? When's the last time he's done anything in Ontario like this? It's unbelievable. The Mountie, Jimmy Hart. It's going to be great times. Go to the CNE with your family. Watch some wrestling. They're doing 2 or 3 shows a day. It's going to be crazy. The NFL's starting up. Let's go Bengals. Got to see former Four Horsemen Steve Mongo McMichael get inducted into the Hall of Fame. It was beautiful. They all came to him, and poor Mongo, he's struggling. He's real sick, and he's got that terrible disease. He just can't move. He's paralyzed and just slowly withering away in his bed. But that was beautiful to see, And I think maybe let's go to some listener questions. I think I want to shift. Over and let's see what you guys have sent in because I'm excited. I'm excited here. Let's see here. Let's start off. Got Ryan Harvey 122. He says, for TCO, what is your favorite Barry Wrestling event? That's a big question. I think I'm going to answer from a watching Barry Wrestling and not just performing because I don't think that I want to try. I'm always a fan. And the first one that comes to mind is Cream. Reverso and Gabriel Fuerza and the steel cage was awesome. Hot Stepper and Myung Jae Lee tore the house down. Mark Wheeler fought, I can't remember if it was Vinny Pacifico or Mortar on that card. They had an awesome match. Sheldon Jean and Jesse V. That was just a loaded card from top to bottom. So that one definitely comes to mind. And Karma as well. The wedding of Kyle and Shiloh is the greatest thing I've seen ever. And then to follow it up with Alexia Nicole and Trent Seven. From a personal standpoint, I got to shoot a little angle with Kyle. That was fun. But yeah, those are the top 2 for me. Ryan, what about you, man? Send us a comment if you're listening to this and let me hear it. Got a couple from a beautiful man here. The Pizza Man 0447. He asked how the reffing gig at Kempenfist was. He wishes he was there. We wish you were there too, Pizza Man. It's not the same when you're not around, man. Pizza Man is one of the unsung heroes, not just in Barrie wrestling, but on the Ontario indie scene. If you haven't talked to Pizza Man, you got to talk to him. He's a great dude. I just went over the ref and stuff. It was bucket list stuff, and I'm happy that I got to do it, and I'm happy if I never have to do it again also. But I say that, of course, with a smile on my face. I would do it in a heartbeat. Shout out Brad Myers, though. That guy is an animal. Just want to put that out there. Just want to put that out there. Pizza Man also says, say his name. Well, if I say Joe Hendry's name, I don't think he's going to appear on Counted Out today. But we can work on that in the future. But I want to talk a little bit about Joe Hendry. And I think TNA missed a big opportunity with him. I think that they should have put the world title on him at Slammiversary. Nothing against Nick Nemeth at all, Dolph Ziggler. The guy's amazing. But tell me this. Is there a difference between any match that he's going to have right now with or without the title involved? If that title wasn't around his waist and he's still having these matches, they're just going to be awesome matches. He doesn't need the title. Joe Hendry, though, they could have made a moment of the year at Slammiversary in front of that crowd. They wanted it. And to have him showing up on NXT with that title, maybe you do title for title versus Ethan Page. Maybe you just put the NXT title on him. Like, we're in unprecedented times here. It's crazy times. We got Ginger. Oh, my boy Kerr. Ginger. The triple G. Will Roman Reigns face Solo Sikoa at Survivor Series, which is in Vancouver this year? I think that we will see interactions of them. I think it's probably going to be War Games. I think we're going to get a Bloodline versus Bloodline angle. I think we're going to see Roman and the Usos get back together. If I had my way, if I was booking it, I would have the new Bloodline, Solo and his boys, beat up Rikishi. And that's how I would have Jimmy and Jay reunite. And then, now it's personal. Let's get back with Uso. Let's get back with Roman. We need a fourth man. They got their four guys. We need a fourth guy. Who do we turn to? Jay, call your boy Sammy. Let's get the gang back together. Let's get Sami Zayn and the Bloodline back together. Let's get him in War Games. And let's let him tear the house down, because this is huge. And I haven't even talked about SummerSlam yet. What do you think of the return of Roman Reigns? I like that he came out. And I like that they didn't make you guess. He came out, he got in the ring, hit Solo immediately. You want to lay out Paul Heyman, the wise man? I'm coming for you, man. I'm coming for you. Van Landen leaves a comment, good friend of the show. He says, how is being a referee? Well, I mean, thank you to you. And I will say, Van Landen, very wet and sweaty man in the ring. And I didn't tell anybody this. I didn't tell it to Van after. But I don't even know if he was so in the zone when he got in the ring. I had to push him back to his corner, and I was just drenched in water. I don't know, baby oil, whatever he put on. A hell of a look, though. Let me tell you, great look when he gets like that. And I said, "Oh, you are slimy," and he just responded straight face, "Yes, I am," and handed me the belt. And I went to lift the Three Pistols title up, and it was all greased up. I almost dropped it on my head. So thankfully, I held on to the Three Pistols title there, Van Landen. I definitely will not tell you again how refereeing was. I've told it, but I will tell you to go and listen to Van and Holden in the morning. It is my favorite podcast. It's how I start my mornings. When they post it in the mornings, but they're posting every day, new show every day. Highly entertaining. And it's not just wrestling. They talk about some wild and random shit. You never know what's going to come out of Holden Albright's mouth. And it's exciting because he's a good dude. We've got our friends over at Straight Talk Wrestling, Mr. George McKay, another great podcast you should check out. I heard Mike wears leopard spotted underwear. Is this true? Now, I was curious about this myself, and I'm going to tell you that it's not leopard spotted. I'm pretty sure, if I had to take a guess, just looking at Mike and knowing Mike the way that I do, that he probably just wears a pair of tighty whities that are probably 15 years old and just have holes in them. So they look like they're leopard printed, but they're probably just old and gross. Just like you, Mike. Suck it. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Straight Talk Wrestling. Check them out. They're good. Chrissy, who is the best ringside photographer wow, best ringside camera person in Ontario. Her and Alan's team are phenomenal. If you are running a wrestling show and you need it filmed, do yourself a favor, get Chrissy there because not only is she phenomenal at her job, but she's a great person and she just makes the energy in the room better when she's around. Got to hang out with her at the Sami Zayn comedy show. I ran into her at Line. She saved me probably an hour and a half waiting in line by myself. It was great to catch up with her. I always like to get to say hi to Chrissy. I wish I could talk to her a little bit more at the shows, but it's always so busy. She says, other than myself, who are my favorite ring announcers? Favorite announcers? Ooh, I mean, I think of all time, I gotta go with Howard Finkel. That's my childhood. Um, he's awesome, amazing. Samantha Irvin, you gotta give props to Samantha Irvin. Big fan of Gary Michael Capetta. What an honor it was to get to interview him, and he gave me feedback and told me if I wanted to, I could use his ring name, his nickname. He was the world's most dangerous ring announcer, and he said I could be Ontario's if I wanted to. Speaking of Ontario, though, Jamie Franchuk, man, that guy, he's what I look up to. I think he's number one around Ontario, and hopefully I'm half as good as what he's doing because that guy he's the GOAT, man. And he's been so great. He's given me so much great advice. And thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. Holden Albright at Holden Pro. Who are your top 5 referees with your firsthand experience now? All right. This is a tough one to think of. I'm just going off the top of my head here, in no particular order. I mean, you gotta go. I'm gonna go with Jimmy Corderas. And what I like about Jimmy Corderas is he's just fundamentally good. He was that referee that was so good you didn't know he was there, and then you knew he was there. He's kind of did all the TLC matches. You want to hear all about that? Go in the archive and find our year-end show with Jimmy Corderas, probably about 3, 4 years ago, whatever the year Edge came back, right before COVID. So about 4 years ago, and Jimmy came on and told us all about reffing the TLC matches and working with Edge. I think Jimmy's great. I was a big Tim White fan. Love me some Tim White. Little Nate, he's entertaining. I like that. A little bit of flair. So we got Jimmy, Tim White, we got Little Nate. Let's go. Obviously, you got to put Earl Hebner in there. Have to. And for somebody that I just have a tremendous amount of respect for and who I think, could rival any of these guys with the work that he's doing now, I'm going Brad Myers. Brad Myers is on your show. Your show has credibility immediately. He comes out and he's just so good at what he does. But big shout out to all the Ontario refs as well. But Brad, you're on my list, man. You're on my list of top 5 referees for sure. And I think that's it for questions right now. So that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I just want to talk quickly, I guess, a little bit about SummerSlam. Because I think I talked about everything else I want to talk about. We covered reffing, covered the punch out of the week, covered our listening questions, talked about Barry Wrestling on Rogers with all the great Ontario stuff, gave our shout out to Mongo. I was going to talk a little bit about All In, but I mean, I don't really care about it this year. Do you guys? What do you guys think of Blood and Guts? I thought it was a letdown. I don't like the finish where and it's not just for Blood and Guts, so I'm not just shitting on AEW. I've never been a finish of the I Quit match where like people are cuffed and it's like we're gonna kill you, and then somebody quits like on their behalf. Like I don't like that. Never been my thing. And they just did that with Edge and Christian or Copeland and Christian Cage in Toronto, same finish. Like we're seeing it a lot. It's becoming too much. Like you're in a match, fight each other, make somebody quit. I don't want to see the bullshit, But that's just my opinion. But I'm not overly excited for All In, and I'm excited for some matches. Tony Storm and Maria May, I think, is going to be phenomenal. Obviously MJF and Will Ospreay are going to have a great match. Bryan Danielson and Swerve, like the card is great, but I'm not into the hype of it so far. And AEW with their backstage shit again with Britt Baker and Alicia Toot and MJF, it's just a mess. Like I want them to be so much better than what they are. Like, this Jungle Boy heel turn didn't work for me, and this elite stuff, I'm just not feeling it. It just feels forced. It's not genuine. It's not heat. Okada's been great. I never thought I would like Okada as a comedy wrestler, but holy shit, is he funny. And last thing, let's talk a little SummerSlam. What an event, from what I remember, after the Matt Good concert, when somehow, thanks to my lovely mother, who drove me and my brothers and Wilson home, and Wilson slept over, and we ordered some Domino's pizza, fired up SummerSlam, and I kind of watched it. I think I was there. I watched the whole thing, but I don't remember all of it. But solid thumbs in the middle show for me. Nothing was bad on it. Nothing was spectacular on it either. Really enjoyed Punk and Drew. I thought they told a great story. I thought Seth was phenomenal in the match. We have options now. Now it looks like Seth might be spinning off with Bronson Reed, which that was a huge angle. What else did I like? Cody. I thought Cody's entrance was beautiful. The last walk with Farrell the dog, Arn Anderson. Love seeing Arn Anderson. I pop so hard for that. That's my guy. An Arn Anderson guy, second best horseman of all time, right, Mike? Um, Obviously Cody had to win. We touched on the return of Roman. Can't wait to see where it goes. Roman's on SmackDown this week. It's time to, this is gonna pick up. Last half of the year is gonna be big, man. It's gonna be big stuff. LA Knight won the US title. Not a big LA Knight guy, but Logan had a great run with it, man. And I think it was the time. Let's see what LA Knight's got. You can't have him lose all the big matches. I agree with the title change. Gunter, I cannot wait to see what he does with this world title. And him and Randy right away is going to be great. Coming into the end of the year, we got Cena coming back. We got War Games on the horizon. We got what's next for Cody? What do you guys want to see next with Cody? It looks like he's going to be done with the bloodline. I thought maybe we'd see Randy and Cody. Maybe Kevin Owens asked him for a title shot. Hey, man, I've been your friend. Who's going to step up? Who's ready for that title program with Cody? He needs a big one, man. He needs to keep pushing. Guys over like Rover, but we got to keep the pedal to the metal with them. What about Dominic Mysterio? What a slimy prick, man. Taking and leaving mommy. Can't wait for that. Man, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest together against the New Judgment Day. That's a fun twist. And maybe we see Liv and Rhea and Hell in a Cell. Saw the Wyatt Six make their in-ring debut. What do you guys think of that? Got to tell you, not loving the Wyatt Six as much as everybody else is. I don't hate them. Nothing bad. Think they've done some cool stuff. I just I don't know, man. Not feeling it. It's not my thing, I guess. Not that they're wrong. Not that they're doing bad stuff. It just, just okay. After that hot angle, I don't feel like they've kept that momentum going. But beautiful moment when they all hugged in the ring after that first match and paid respect to Bray. Eric Rowan a couple weeks ago cut that promo that just destroyed your soul. And obviously, if you want to hear more on Eric Rowan, we've got a couple interviews with him on the archives. Yes, wrestling's awesome right now, man, and life is awesome. I'm happy. It's good to wake up every day and be happy. And I look forward to my bachelor party next weekend. I look forward to a relaxing weekend here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little attempt at me pretending to be Chris Van Vliet doing his Ask People Question stuff. I just had so much I wanted to talk about, so I wanted to vent out a little therapy session, And again, thank you to everybody for not only listening to us, but for those of you that have been with us since day one, man. We're coming on to 4.5 years we've been doing this. That's crazy. Started out, we were not a pandemic podcast. We started out, Mike and I filmed 4 pilot episodes that he will not let me air. I need you guys to bug him. I want to air them. I mean, I have them and I post all the shows and edit all the shows every week anyways. So, I mean, like I could just do it and he wouldn't be able to stop me. But I respect Mike and stuff, and he tells me not to do something. For the most part, I won't do it. Makes me want to do it more. But yeah, we got 4 pilot episodes re-recorded before the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit, and then we were pandemic podcasts, I guess. But there was a lot of them, and there's not a lot of them left. There's some of us out there that are still grinding away, and stick with us, man. Because come September, we're gonna rev up again, man. You're gonna see some more big interviews coming our way. We're gonna start firing it up, but it's the end of the summer. We're all busy. Coast with us. Enjoy the ride. you need an hour to kill time, we'll put a list together. Mike's going to talk about top 7 hometown hero people. I already hate the concept of his list because he can do more than one person per hometown. Makes no sense to me, but whatever. And I don't know. I guess I should probably start thinking about lists coming up. So much going on, man. Life is good. Thank you for this. Please subscribe, YouTube especially. YouTube helps. We're working, man. We're pushing. We want 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's mental to me, man. Because when we first started this, my goal was 50 subscribers a year. And after the next year, it's like, hey, man, we're doing like 100 a year. That'd be great. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of our 4th year, not even, it wouldn't even be 4 years because we turned 5 years old when WrestleMania happened. So if we can get there before we turn 5, I would just be so touched and so moved, and I would love that very much. So help us, man. Spread the word. We don't want to be the best podcast that you don't know about anymore. We want to be the best podcast that we can be for you. And once the summertime rolls down, just wait and see. We're gonna rev it up into another gear. Maybe even before that, because Mike's getting settled in a new job now. My life calms down a little bit after my bachelor party. Fantasy football's starting up though, so I don't know. I might have to. I got to find a way to split my time between fantasy football, which I need to win this year. I will win this year. Can't let Kerr win again. He's been chirping us all year. Great fucking chirps too. That's the worst part. It's nothing worse than when the champ hits you with a good chirp because you got nothing in return, right? I traded away all my draft pick. Whatever. That's a different. I'm gonna try. This is gonna be a tough draft for me this year, but I gotta prevail. That's a different podcast. That'll be different. Stick around. We got Barry Wrestling turning 10 years old this year. Going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. Sean Gibson's going to be on the show talking all about that. That's in November. Stuff to look forward to. We're going to talk about the Tragically Hip with Sean Gibson too. We're figuring it all out. That's it. I'm done rambling tonight. I'm going to go sit down, watch the Gilmore Girls with the wife. I'm teaching my dog how to too sweet, which is working. Maybe I'll post that reel. And just keep on doing it. So thank you very much again. Subscribe. Hopefully I did not bore you. If you enjoyed this show, just tell me. Because if you didn't enjoy it, I don't ever want to do it again. But, just kind of felt like coming on and rambling today. So thank you for allowing me to do that. As always, thank you for allowing us into your home for the last 4 or 5 years. On behalf of Mike and on behalf of, fuck it. Just on behalf of Mike and on behalf of all of us here at Counted Out, you have been counted out. Cheers.